What is going on, guys? It's Ben from the Parker Brothers and welcome back to another fishing video. Well, it's not quite a fishing video, to be honest with you. Today is the Parker Baits open day and I'm really excited. I cannot wait. We've got loads of things on offer, the baits at cheap prices. We've also got exclusive access around the Parker Baits lake. We've got a casting game. Corey himself, Mr. Longcast down the bottom. Throughout the day today, I'm probably going to touch on various different things and show you exactly what's going on. For those who missed out, then can come next time. So there it is. Before we start this video, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos going forward. Happy days. Right guys, I thought I'd take full advantage. The day is underway completely now and behind me is Mr. Longcast himself, Corey, and what we're going to do is in a second I'm going to pull you over there and talk you through exactly what's going on and what he's doing. So come with me. Right, so here it is. As you can see, there he is, Corey's over there. So why is Corey here today? So he's on hand for everybody to sort of not show them how to cast, that's not the point, but it's just to refine the casting, how to stand, how to compress the rod, how to tie on generic shock leaders, the quickest way of doing a wrap without twisting your line. Simple things that a lot of people just get really wrong. But Corey is going to be on hand all day today and it will be on hand on our next Parker Baits open day, talking in great depth about casting and everything you need to know about casting. So down the field, what we've done is we've put various different sort of poles in the ground, one at 40, one at 80, one at 120, so on, so on, so on. So it gives people a feel of how they're casting. And just to put into sort of perspective, if you like, yesterday there was Nick down here, which is our business development gentleman. And Nick was down and he could cast probably around 20 wraps before. So after a quick talk with Corey, he was doing 35 wraps, which to me is just incredible. And to be honest with you, I ain't been able to shut up Nick over the last 24 hours because he stayed at my last night banging on about it. But Nick, well done. And Corey, thanks again, mate. So there it is. Different. I'm just going to shut it off a second. Something completely different. Now, I don't think it's done before. A lot of you know that me and my family are very passionate about our bait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk over today in great depth of exactly why we put the ingredients in we do. I'm going to be doing a live demonstration of the OG fruit and nut in 14 mils today. The reasons why we put them ingredients in, the nutritional values, and how it stimulates carp. And like I said, the reasons why we do it. So what I'm going to do is, guys, first of all, I'm going to, and just bear in mind, if anybody is allergic to nuts, obviously don't touch the peanut protein. And I'm just going to lift that one up now. This is peanut protein, guys. Okay. So in a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this going round. So as I'm talking about the product, people can understand it a lot better, smell it, feel it, see what it's about. And again, I'll talk about the reasons why we put these particular ones in. And you can also, it's very hard for me in videos to put across. If I had smell-o-vision, I'd be a very lucky man, to say the least. So with this, you guys today are going to be able to smell peanut protein, understand what LT94 is, what is Robin Red, what is blood plasma, why do we put CLO in our fruit and nut products, and also eggs, grade A eggs, and the reasons why we put the amount in we do. And there's no skimping here at Parker Baits. Also our dusting process I'm going to touch on, And the reason why we steam our baits, that is a massive, massive factor for me. A lot of people turn around and they say, oh, I didn't know you didn't steam your bait. It doesn't offend me, but it upsets me because the main thing for me is when you steam a bait, and that's something I'm going to roll off and talk about now, so steaming. When you steam a bait, so what we've done is we've got an industrial steamer. Again, I didn't bring it down with me, guys. It sits about this tall, and it's an industrial steamer. When you steam a bait, you actually lose a bit of the nutritional value. So you'll probably lose anywhere between just over 20%, around that, to 26%, around that. With a boil, if anybody's made their own baits before, when you boil your bait, you'll find that the water smells better than the boilies themselves. Because what's actually happened is it's ripped the nutritional value out of the bait, and it's actually in the water. Over 60% of the nutritional value within a bait, when you boil a bait, gets pulled away from it. So what I'm trying to put across is, with a steam, if you say you lose just over 20, what we do is we dust our baits. So we dust them when they drop, and we dust them when they come out of the steamer. And again, I'll touch on that in a second. I'll visibly show you. But the reason for that, and my thought process behind that is when the bait, obviously you're losing that nutritional value, i.e. what I just said, 20-odd%, we're actually putting that back in the bait when you hit it with the dust. Now, the dust here is something that we do and no other business is doing. Now, what is the dust? And a lot of people, someone made a comment earlier, said, is that the magic dust, Ben? This is not the magic dust. It's a 20% version of the magic dust. So what I mean by that is, guys, is for the fish, obviously I'm doing a fruit and nut line today, so I'm not going to put this on. So in here, there's things like 17 different spices, blood plasmas, CLOs. You've all got things in there like 100% natural Himalayan rock salt. So loads of stimulators that really do help the carp get their heads down and feed. And what I do love, particularly the OG fish one, I always call it a target. So what I try to put across is, so it comes along, the boilies are dropping, they're dropping in the bottom, they get hit with a dust. I hit them with the dust in here, which is the OG fish dust. But what I'm trying to say is our baits out the bag, when you put them in the water, when they hit the deck, they've almost got like a little target, because what you're finding is all the food particles, i.e. the food particles in here, which is over 20, actually fall off the bait and stick to it. So going back to what I originally was saying about the magic dust, this isn't the magic dust, this is a 20% version of the magic dust, because it wouldn't be feasible as a business to put the magic dust on, because it costs so much to make as Parker baits. So the magic dust is like this times 10, basically, and we sit there, my family, my mum, my dad, my brother, me, we sit there and we weigh out every single ingredient. I think there's 34 different food particles that go in the OG fish. The OG fruit and nut is slightly less. I think there's 27 different food particles. So what that means is I've got to sit there, weigh out each one. It's not just for, you know what, I'm just going to put a load of powders in a thing, screw the top on and charge. It's far from that. There's a lot of background, a lot of science, a lot of history, if you like, hence where the OG come from. And on that, I probably should touch on that, because a lot of people go, what is OG? So obviously OG stands for original gangster. And what I mean by that is this is like the original gangster of all the baits from the last 25 years of that people have used for decades. They are the OGs. They're the best in the game. You're not going to beat them. Things like Alti 94, which is this product here. Alti 94, there's a good percentage of it that goes in our OG fish. Alti 94, if you don't know, a lot of the big brands use Alti 94. It's probably the best fish meal on the market. It's like the Rolls Royce of the fish market world, if you like. Oh, sorry, the fish meal world. And that is Alti 94. So what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to pass this pot round, have a smell, gauge what it is. It's almost like a flour, but it has got food particle in it as well. But Alti 94 is probably one of my favourites. There is a big bucket at the front here, so if you do put your hands and you want to wash them off, guys, that's something else you can do as well. Obviously, I've just touched on the dust there, so I want you going around having a go at this, guys, and having a feel yourself. This is the 20%, this isn't magic dust, this is the 20% version of our OG fish that we dust our baits when they drop, and I'll reiterate this. So when they drop, when the baits drop, they get dusted. And what I'll do is, I'll turn this on now. The baits get dusted. When they come out the steamer, they get dusted again. So they're actually getting double dusted. So again, I'm going to pass that round, guys. Have a smell, have a feel, gauge what it's like. You can see the food particles in there. Couple of other ingredients. Now, this is something that comes up a lot in both of our baits, and I do feel it's caught out the pike. It's got blood plasma. The best way of putting blood plasma across, I always remember as a kid, the teacher was used to say to me, Ben, a shark can smell your blood from miles away when you put a drop of water in. So what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to get this going around. Be careful with this one. And one thing you will notice when you smell this is the iron. You can almost taste the iron in your mouth from the blood. So that is blood plasma. Have a little go around with that. So the next one, guys, and again, this goes in the OG fish, but I didn't want to go for every ingredient because it's not the most interesting for people that don't want to know. But this is Robin Red. Now, Robin Red has been around for years and years and years, and it really is a great product. It really, really is. So what is Robin Red? The best way of describing this is almost like an Indian spice, but it's also got the colour in it, which makes our OG fish the colour it is. And also there's a good percentage of the Robin Red in the bait, therefore it's very stimulating to the carp as well. This isn't in the magic dust. This isn't in the magic dust. A lot of people get confused. The orange fleck, like I said, and I say it again, is 17 different spices, so very different. So the Robin Red isn't in the dust, but this actually goes in the bait itself. So again, I'm going to pass that round. And I'm also going to then finish off, guys, with CLO. Now again, CLO is a big one for me. Now, the best way of putting this across, our bait was tested in excess of a year, even before we dropped the brand. And obviously I've been playing about with bait for the last 20 years. So CLO consists of different bird seeds, Niger seeds, loads of different microscopic food particles, if you like. It really is great. And what I do find with this, one, it gives you a good crunch factor, not us, but the fish. You'll see their gills moving. There's something I've actually videoed on our own lake, and that's how I analyse things, because I can take away different percentages of ingredients, see how the fish react to it, and then tweak things and then make the bait better than it already is. So there's just going into depth, but just taking things that little step further to try and be the best in the game, or the best in the game. So you've got CLO. So CLO as well, we went through 5 different suppliers just to get the right CLO. Now, again, a big factor for me is nutritional value. I've got people all around the country that buy our bait, and also people that feed their carp on our bait. So I want the carp to benefit from the bait as well as the angler, obviously catching more fish. But CLO, we went through 5 different companies. One of the companies, believe it or not, the one because we would have just trying the grades, this has almost got, to a degree, a little bit of moisture in it. Some of the ones we were buying was almost like buying sand. It was horrendous. The quality was horrendous. So what I'm trying to put across is, guys, I will go to the end if it means getting a better ingredient. This is actually imported, this one. This isn't an English product, actually imported, because you just get a better product. So that's CLO. So next up, guys, is our eggs. Now, you probably see me making some crude videos on our Instagram, and I talk about eggs in great detail, but we only use grade 8 eggs here at Parker Baits. Now, a lot of companies, I'm not going to mention any names, so I'm not here to dig or sort of knock anyone, but a lot of companies, what they will do, for a kilo of bait, they maybe put half an egg in and then bulk it out with egg powder, for say scenario's sake. We put 9 eggs in a kilo. It cost me over £1 just in eggs to make the bait. We also put the shell in as well, because again, I know I said earlier about that crunch factor. Carp do love that crunch factor, and it's a massive factor for me. So the whole egg goes in. There's also calcium in the shell. So that is a big, big one for me. Good quality eggs, fresh eggs, and we actually get them fresh from the farm now. Before, it was horrendous. I used to go to, for about 7 months, I used to go to Asda every morning, and I used to push the trolley through Asda, eggs coming out of eggs, pushing the trolley through, and the comments you used to get from the little old ladies and the old men and the blokes and the younger generation, oh, you like omelettes, mate? And yeah, you think, yeah, I've heard that 27 times today, pushing this trolley around the thing. But anyway, I look no further now, and I get them from a fresh farm down the road. Yes, granted, they cost me a lot more than what I was paying, but at least I don't have to sort of crucify myself every Monday going into Asda and making myself look like a bit silly, walking through with all these eggs, people thinking I'm panic buying. So that's that. So now, I'll get my hands off now. What I'm going to do is, guys, again, bearing in mind, this has got peanut in it. Nut allergies, please don't touch it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a few balls going around so you can get a gauge of what it's like. The rawest form of the bait, and this is how you buy the paste. Now, this is what I call in your natural form, guys. So what I mean by that is it will break down a lot quicker than the actual boilies themselves, being that the nutritional value hasn't been affected because it hasn't been cooked, it hasn't been boiled. So the paste is an absolute game changer, and something I've been doing a lot of recently, just putting a little bit round a boilie, and then you can get away with fishing at range then without putting a whacking great big PVA bag in, which ultimately hinges your casting. So what is the OG fruit and nut? The OG fruit and nut consists of 3 different flavourings. So we've got chocolate orange in there, we've got peanut in there, and we've got coconut in there. 3 flavourings that are absolute game changers. They really, really are. And something that me and Tom actually went to a supplier, and these are bespoke made for us. So this is something, again, completely different in the market. You can't walk into your local angling shop and go, you know what, I'll take some peanuts, some coconut and some chocolate orange and mix this. This is our own bespoke flavouring. And the bloke did not like me on the end of the phone because I was going to and from and saying, nah, tweak this, add a bit more of this, because I'm I want to do things right. I'm not a half measures kind of guy. And if you guys are buying my bait, I want to give you the best possible product money can buy. That's very important to me. So that's the smells that go in here. There's things in here like CLO, blood plasmas. Again, a lot of people in the birdseed world, when they make a fruity bait, try and stay away from things like blood plasma. I don't know why. I think blood plasma you can put in both. Due to the level of the bait, if that makes sense. You can actually get away with putting it in both and it works well. And I do find that it picks up the pike. I've actually caught fish over 10-pound pike on this, but I think that's solely down to the blood plasma that is within the bait. So that's that. Obviously this has got good CLO content. There's tiger nut meals in there, peanut proteins. Again, and it almost smells like a Snickers. You'll find me when I'm round in the factory, I almost look a bit strange because I'm sniffing, tasting the bait to try and get that consistency. Nipper down here was taking the mick earlier. He was saying to me, why are you eating the bait, mate, weren't you? Yeah. But that is a big one for me. You know, if I can't eat my own products, and I'm not advising people go out and start smashing bags of OG fish and OG fruit and nut. But yeah, it really is a big one for me. I think what I'll do is as well, guys, I'm going to quickly touch on the OG fish and what is in the OG fish. So we've got 3 different flavourings in the OG fish. Squid, octopus and chili. Now chili, massively stimulating. The chili, me and Tom have hicked up many a times with the chili. Tom got it in his eye the other day and he was crying for about 3 hours. And I got it in a cut the other day and I was running around the factory like a little girl, to be honest with you. So the chili's in there, but the only way of putting the chili across, it's almost like 1,000 times stronger than a jalapeno, if you like. It is strong. So what I'm trying to put across is if I'm tasting that, a carp is going to taste the same. I'm not saying it's going to pull off a spot because it's too hot, because they've got very different taste buds to us, as you guys know. So squid, octopus and chili, 3 game changers. There's spices in the there. And again, one thing I will touch on, guys, very quickly, is in the OG fish, you've got CLO. Now, a lot of people in the bait world almost forget about it's almost an unwritten rule that you don't put CLO in a fish meal product. Now we've put CLOs, we put a birdseed product in a fish meal bait. So you've almost got the best of both worlds, which again, massively stimulating, but you've got the kick of the power of the sort of the Robin Red, the LT94, and up the back of that, you've got the spices then kicking in, you've got everything really working, every layers of the water column when you hit it with the dust and move on. So that there, very, very briefly, guys, is a quick insight on both lines of bait there. And as you can see is now what I'm going to do is just quickly touch on what Theo's doing here, my glamorous assistant over there. He's doing 14mm baits. So as you can see, what he's doing is he's pulling up and he's sprinkling the baits. So what that does is there's things like, again, peanut proteins in there, CLOs, tiger nut meals, crushed hemp, tiny little bit of Himalayan. And what that does is you're finding, a lot of people say, but why do you bother, Ben? Because when you steam it, half of it comes off. But that's besides the point to me, because even if 4 or 5% on it, that's 4 or 5%, and that means you guys are getting a better product. So we dust them here, like so, and then what happens then, I'm going to do a demonstration here. So what we do is, as Theo's then, so they go in these lovely trays. Another thing you're probably thinking is on there, that tray's quite clean. Maybe you're not, maybe you are. But these trays we clean, because again, although our stuff isn't for human consumption, I want to try and give people a product that is clean and it basically as good as humanly possible. I treat it like a human was eating it, if you like. So what I do is, normally I've got a sprayer. And what in that sprayer consists of another secret ingredient, which I'm not going to tell you. So they've got some lube on the baits now. So when the lube, so say for scenario's sake now, I've just pulled this out the steamer. This is now steamed. All the steam's coming off, and you always see me make funny noises, and I'm going, oh, 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 because the pan's so hot. So I put it down. I've got these lovely panning for gold dishes, and this is how it works. So I tip them in the dish. Like so. If you can bang me out some more baits, mate. Then what you'll find is there's tens of thousands of little food particles all over the bait. If that can be passed round. Please, please. Yeah, we'll do a swap. Thank you very much, boss. Obviously these have got a bit of dusting on, but what I'm trying to put across is you can see a very vast difference between these and them. They look very, very different. Right, wow, I don't know whether you saw that, guys, but I just went over our full production line at Parker Baits. So now behind me, you can see our casting game. So the aim of the game is, if you get it in the front bucket, you win yourself a flat spot. You get it in the buckets behind, you win yourself a source product. And if you get it and you smash the target on there in the crosshairs, you win yourself $54.99, a Parker Baits Boilie bundle deal for potentially £2. So that's the game. And this is something that we've all had some good fun on today, and a lot of the customers have even come up to me and said they thoroughly enjoyed the game. They were close. I think a couple of people have hit it as well. Around the lake, we've been allowing people under 14-year-olds today to have a little fish, so they've been enjoying that as well. It's really good to see the kids with a smile on their face. It really, really has been. So I'll probably touch base with you a little later on. You've got Sean the chef in the background, everybody getting their food and thoroughly enjoying it, because the man himself is here, obviously selling his cakes and his food, and it's absolutely beautiful. So the sun is out. The Parker Baits team, I think, are all getting involved and doing their thing. I really couldn't ask for much more. It's a fantastic day, and like I said, I'll touch base with you in a bit. There it is, that is the wrap. That was the Parker Baits open day, guys. Again, thank you for coming, and I really do hope you've enjoyed yourself. I'm sure we're definitely going to do this again, and probably add even more things and make it even more enjoyable. And like I said, guys, thanks very much from me and my family, and thanks for coming.